The NBA landscape tonight is shaping up to be a fascinating canvas, full of intriguing matchups, injury updates, and betting angles that could define the outcomes of these games. On Wednesday's slate, 9 games stand out, and there's a ton of opportunity for those who pay close attention to matchups, player lines, and game context. Every game has its own story, and tonight is no different. Before diving into the nitty-gritty, it's important to understand the broader patterns at play across the league, the disparity between home and away teams, the impact of returning players, and how injuries ripple through lineups, affecting both team strategies and individual stats. Tonight, we see all of those dynamics in full effect. The first game that jumps off the page is the matchup between the Charlotte Hornets and the Indiana Pacers. On paper, the Pacers are 1.5-point favorites at home, which is interesting given their recent struggles to cover spreads. Over the last 10 games, Indiana has failed to cover in 7 consecutive contests, even with key players like Andrew Nebbard, T.J. McConnell, and Ben Mathurin returning to the lineup. On the Hornets' side, LaMelo Ball is not officially limited on the injury report, but his recent playing time suggests a mini restriction, hovering around 27 to 28 minutes per game. Meanwhile, Terry Mann is doubtful, which limits Charlotte's options off the bench. Despite these limitations, Charlotte has been competitive lately, posting a 4-6 record against the spread in the last 10 games. This is a team that gives up the 11th most points overall, and paired with Indiana's porous defense, which ranks 4th worst in the league in points allowed, tonight has all the makings of a high-scoring affair. For bettors looking at props, there's a lot to consider. The Hornets' points props are elevated, but that could adjust as the evening progresses, and the potential is there for some big performances, particularly in assists and points from their primary creators. Ben Mathurin is a player to watch closely. Returning from injury, he played just 25 minutes in his last outing but scored 25 points, shooting 3 of 9 from 3, which easily cleared his three-point line. With a 100% hit rate on the season for his three-point line and playing in Indiana at home, this is a prop that looks especially appealing. On the rebounding front, the Pacers have been vulnerable, which opens the door for LaMelo or other Hornets bigs to make a strong impact, though the lines are currently a bit high. All things considered, while the Hornets are well positioned for a strong performance, the combination of Indiana's home court, returning players, and the motivation to end a 7-game ATS skid makes the Pacers the lean for this matchup. Moving to the Raptors versus the Sixers, Philadelphia enters as a 2.5-point favorite. Injury news is critical here. Joel Embiid is doubtful, Paul George and Kelly Oubre are out, while Abadji for Toronto is probable. Toronto has gone 6-4 ATS in their last 10, while the Sixers are 7-3, though they haven't covered in their last 2 games. Without Embiid, the rebounding and scoring responsibilities shift heavily, making Andre Drummond an especially enticing player prop. Historically, Drummond has consistently met or exceeded his points line when Embiid sits, and his rebound numbers have been solid, though slightly inconsistent. Bettors looking at double-double props need to weigh the payout against the slight downgrade in line adjustments. He could reach both points and rebounds, but the same payout means the risk-reward may not always justify it. For other Sixers players, B.J. Edgecombe's rebounding has been steady this season, hitting his line in roughly 70% of games. With both George and Oubre absent, opportunities for him increase, making him a strong rebound prop candidate. On the Raptors' side, Sandro Mamukelashvili stands out as a first-quarter scoring prop. Despite limited minutes off the bench, he consistently produces early points, hitting 5 or more points in 6 straight games. His line is slightly over plus money, but his recent production against the Sixers suggests a high probability of success. Additionally, his three-point prop is manageable. Just one made 3 in the first quarter would see him clear the mark. With the Sixers missing key stars, Toronto's deeper and healthier roster gives them an edge, and and the lean for this matchup tilts toward the Raptors. The Sacramento Kings vs. Oklahoma City Thunder game offers a very different narrative. Oklahoma City is a massive 17.5-point favorite, reflecting Sacramento's struggles in the early season and their inability to compete against elite competition. Domantas Sabonis will be out for the Kings, which historically has hampered their interior presence, especially in rebounding. In their previous blowout loss to the Thunder, Sacramento fell 132-101, demonstrating the Thunder's dominance when the matchup tilts in their favor. For betting purposes, Drew Eubanks, stepping in for Sabonis, provides a potential unders angle on rebounds, given his limited production in earlier games when filling the center role. Despite this, the lean is strongly toward the Thunder, who are at home and have proven capable of overwhelming the Kings with pace and efficiency. The Nuggets vs. the Pelicans matchup has Nuggets as 13.5-point favorites. Zion Williamson is questionable for New Orleans, Sadiq Bey is also questionable, and Jordan Poole will miss the game entirely. The first matchup of the season was a 122-88 demolition by the Nuggets, showcasing the disparity between the teams when fully healthy. Nikola Jokic is, of course, the centerpiece of this contest. With the matchup against rookie Derek Queen, Jokic could feasibly produce monstrous numbers in points, rebounds, and assists, though a potential blowout may limit his minutes in the fourth quarter. Beyond Jokic, Aaron Gordon has shown strong rebound production in games without Christian Braun, hitting his line with remarkable efficiency. In a game that could trend toward a blowout, Gordon's rebounding line looks highly achievable in limited minutes, making him a compelling prop pick. Next up, the Knicks vs. Mavericks game features New York as a 4.5-point favorite. Injury news is key. OG Anunoby will be out for the Knicks, while Jalen Brunson is questionable for Dallas. Mavericks players Gafford and Lively are probable. First-quarter rebounds for Mitchell Robinson are worth noting, continuing a trend of consistent production against teams that give up a lot of early boards. Max Christie is another player to watch for three-point production, hitting his line in 9 out of 10 home games. On the defensive side, Daniel Gafford's blocks could be an interesting prop, assuming he maintains minutes above 20, which remains likely even with Lively returning. This game features a dynamic interplay between rebounding and perimeter shooting, and the Knicks' versatility on the road makes them a strong lean. The Wizards vs. Timberwolves game presents a situation where both teams are dealing with questionable players and first-quarter props could be critical. Timberwolves are 15.5-point favorites, and while Alex Sarce for Washington and Jaden McDaniels for Minnesota are questionable, the matchup has potential for blowout scenarios. Props for backups and first-quarter performance will likely provide the highest hit rates in a game with such disparity in team strength. Rockets vs. Cavaliers is another matchup with injuries. Shaping the narrative, Cavaliers will be missing Darius Garland and Jalen Tyson, with Sam Merrill questionable. Rockets' Tari Eyin is out, and Jabari Smith Jr. is questionable. This creates a dynamic where the Rockets' physicality could expose Cleveland's vulnerabilities, especially on the boards. Historically, the Cavaliers struggle against teams that bring a physical edge, often forcing turnovers, poor shot selection, and defensive miscues. This game has the makings of a close, contested matchup, but the lean here favors the Rockets given their roster health and defensive style. The Warriors vs. Heat game is influenced heavily by back-to-back fatigue. The Warriors, traveling and on the 8th road game in 9 nights, could see limited minutes for older stars like Steph Curry, particularly after a recent 34-plus minute outing. The Heat, strong at home at 6-1, have a questionable Bam Adebayo, but his potential presence adds depth. With no spread set yet, this game leans toward a Heat win, factoring in home advantage and rest disparities. Finally, the Bulls vs. Blazers game also features back-to-back considerations. Blazers players could be fatigued, and the Bulls' Josh Giddey has returned, boosting the team's offensive efficiency. With key Blazers defensive players potentially out due to illness or previous game absence, the matchup favors a Bulls win, and prop opportunities abound, particularly in scoring lines for both teams. Across all 9 games, the narratives intersect in fascinating ways. Home court advantages, injury updates, returning players, and first-quarter trends offer layers of strategic insight for bettors. While spreads and moneylines provide a framework, the real edge often comes from understanding matchups at a granular level, identifying high-probability props, and monitoring adjustments as game day unfolds. From high-scoring contests to physical matchups and back-to-back fatigue scenarios, tonight's slate represents a microcosm of NBA betting complexity and opportunity. In conclusion, Wednesday's NBA slate is a rich tapestry of storylines, matchups, and strategic betting angles. From the Pacers aiming to snap a 7-game ATS skid, to Raptors capitalizing on a depleted Sixers roster, to the Nuggets' potential blowout versus a young Pelicans team, each game offers unique opportunities for those paying attention to the details. Be sure to engage in discussion in the comments to refine your strategy, and remember that the best insights often come from understanding the subtle interplay between injuries, lineups, and matchup context. Stay disciplined, monitor the lines, and use this information to make informed betting decisions. Every NBA night tells a story, and tonight is no exception. Analyze carefully, trust the data, and enjoy the thrill of basketball strategy. Like this video, subscribe to the channel for consistent NBA insights, and leave a comment to support the algorithm. Your W helps get these insights to more fans. Beyond the Box Score is here to break down every game with expertise, depth, and actionable analysis. God bless, and catch the next slate where the stories continue to unfold.